We're looking at Ethereum on the USD pair on Bitstamp. Yeah, so check it out. I'm on a daily time frame. I just want to point out a couple different things. So using this fib retracement tool here, it gives you a lot of targets where the market tends to go, and it's like it just, these are numbers that just occur all over the place on a chart. And if you apply them to different swing high to swing low, pivot high, swing high, whatever you want to call it, pivot high to the pivot low here. So what did we end up doing? If I took it from up here to down here, these are the targets that are basically yielded out of this. So when we started to draw down, you saw some action, retested the 786, and then we ended up catching here at this 61%, 65%, bounced pretty much to the next 78% target. So it's important, and I have another tool here or another extension because there's another pivot high to this pivot low. And a lot of people do things a lot different. Like they can take it, this is one swing high to one swing low, and then another one and another one. But I'm just going to leave it like this right now because we're getting the full extension of where right now is the proposed bottom. So we never hit the 61.8% retracement here, which sometimes, you get front run, got to the 50, but just didn't get there. So what's happening right now? We're making our way back, and we're on the process of crossing the 50, which is at 2K, and we may just go ahead and get this right here at the 61% to the 65% this time. And mind you, we have this multi-week, almost I think maybe year trend line that we did break, and have a clean break. So can we get pullbacks? Yeah, sure, but we get caught up in the small time frames, and just we can look at where this thing's going. So now that we have this here, before I zoom in, just look at this, taking the extension. I don't make these things up. The tool does this because it kind of tells you where the sell side algos are, the buy side algos, because this is what happens with psychology. These are the averages right here of where people buy and sell. So yeah, what ends up happening? We draw down. People, when we get a bounce to half, at least I get half my money back. At least I get 65% back. At least I get 78% back. And not everybody lasts to get to the 100% back. And that's something with markets that we have to understand, is that when people get to these levels, yeah, that's where they're willing to cut their bag and risk cutting at a loss. So here's the next thing, the people that are made whole. So the people that round trip it and get made whole, guess what a lot of them do? They sell, which ends up being, for the most part, a resistance. Because this is where people are going to get to, and they're going to be like, okay, I'm whole again. Bang, seller, 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 seller. So you're going to have a reaction. So like if we go ahead and try to like time the market, like this looks very possible. Like we're just basically did this, and we're grinding our way back here. Okay, so like if we go ahead and do this, get up here, right? People are going to sell off. And what is it going to do? Probably going to do a really nasty retracement. And then we make another attempt, consolidate here, and then we break it. And that's how we would arrive at these. So, something to think about. Okay, something to think about when you're looking small time frames versus the larger ones. I'm basically saying right now that we have a $9,000 to $7,500 target on Ethereum in the next year, the year after that. So yeah, something to think about. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here. So imagine we're doing all that and we're getting into the 15-minute chart. So, and it's kind of hard because we're in the chop right now. So if you go ahead and look at this guy right here, we almost had a cup form here, but I'm going to take it right here because this is a lot easier just to interpret of where we are. Because this right here was basically the resistance, neckline, whatever, the top of the ascending triangle. And what did we do? We broke out. We broke out, and what is the chart really doing at this point? We're back testing the breakout. And you have these right here, price imbalances right here, which act as support. And if we start even dialing in even more, this is a very common structure. And the fact that we did this, you did your 1, your 2, and then your 3 times the charm like that. Guess what? We're back testing this area here, these imbalances, and we're holding a support. Can it fall more? Yes, of course it can fall more, but this is where you start. If you're looking for those entries, we also had this guy and broke out, and we're back testing it. So it's like multiple back tests, and we're just trending higher until we don't. So right now it's a little bit hard for people to understand, I think, that we're in an uptrend, and that's why targets are hard to call when it's going up. It's always hard to call targets for me when we're on our way down hard. I'll say we're probably going to go here, and then there's like a cascading event, because it's just, you don't know. We're in a downtrend, so it's a little bit harder to call targets because everything is just falling. And these are good. I mean, you can say these are probably good areas to pay attention to, but a lot of times, what does it do? It washes everybody out. So same thing with uptrends. Same thing. You're literally looking at the same downtrend, just really just you're doing this instead. Let me see. Why is it not? There you go. Okay. You're literally doing the same thing. Does this look right here bullish to you? Well, we already broke out. We already kind of broke down here, and we're doing a retest. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah. Ton of resistance right here. It's going to have a hard time getting over, right? So, yeah, I mean, just it's pretty simple. Just look at that until it goes that way, and then it does. But right now, it looks pretty bearish if we flip the chart around. So, oh man, I'm messing up today. There you go. Okay, so arriving at the target, how do we do that? When you have an ascending triangle, you apply it to where the beginning of the triangle, the apex, to the bottom of the ascending triangle, to the top, and you apply it up to where it broke out. And that gives you the target. So from here, you're supposed to yield about 9 to 10%, and this is an important level of price imbalance. So I'd assume that we're going to get there, and then any break of that, obviously, a little bit higher. So right now, like I said, zooming out, zooming in, we've had a lot of breakouts on I would say a small time frame and high time frame. So again, if you really zoom out, this is the big kahuna right here. This is the big trend line that we broke out of. And when you zoom out, that looks like a pretty baby move to the whole trend. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Baby moves versus the larger proposed moves. So there you go.